Hello, welcome. We are doing our vernacular teaching number 2. My name is Miss Kruger, and for our other teachers is Miss Desiree Cardenas, Miss Catherine Coronado, Miss Elena Hernandez, and Miss Sarah May. Today, you are second graders. Congratulations. You are learning the states of matter. There are 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. So the words of today that I want you to remember is solid, matter, liquid, and gas. Today's text is matter and energy. The student knows that matter has physical properties, and those properties determine how it is described, classified, changed, and used. The student is expected to classify matter by physical properties including shape, relative mass, relative temperature, texture, flexibility, and whether the material is solid, liquid, or gas. The content objective. Student will be able to identify the 3 states of matter by labeling pictures in a group. Student will be able to compare these 3 states of matter by participating in an experiment. And language objective, student will be able to describe the similarities and differences of a solid, liquid, and gas by explaining these 2 groups of peers.
Hey guys, so real quick, we're going to activate our background knowledge, our schema. So let's talk about what we already know. Has anyone heard of the word matter?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay. We'll talk about more about that later. What about solid?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Liquid?
Yeah.
Okay. What about gas?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. We're gonna make goop. Okay, so when the goop comes around, we're gonna make the goop first, but when the goop comes around, I want you to use your hands to see how it feels. So I want you guys to play around with this when I pass it around, okay? It's interesting. So I want you to try to pick it up, try to poke it. Okay, so we're gonna pass it around and then y'all play around with it a little bit, okay?
Okay, class, so don't forget that when the bowl is being passed around, to record your observations in your journals. And we're going to look back at that later. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is look at matter. So matter is everything. Matter is everywhere around you, and it takes up space, and it has different forms. So here are the 3 forms of matter. So there's a solid, there's a liquid, and there's gases. So now we're going to take a look at each thing.
Okay class, so you know how yesterday we made this foldable right here and we put the 3 states of matter with the solid, liquid, gas? Well, I want y'all to pull those out, and today we're going to be filling those out. So we're going to be going through solid, liquid, and gas, and we're going to be giving y'all examples. So when you hear an example and you hear what it is, the definition of them, you're going to write it down in your foldable. Okay, so the first one we're going to go through is solids.
And make sure you remember our demonstration we did with the cornstarch and water. Keep your observations in mind as we go through, and maybe you can put this as an example. We have to figure out which one it is.
Okay, so we're going to start off with solids. So go ahead and lift up your flap for the solids. And a solid does not change shape, and it keeps its shape. So the desk that y'all are sitting on, that is a solid. The pencils, everybody hold up your pencil and tap on it like this, that is a solid. It's not moving, it's keeping its form, and it's not moving. Does stay in one place, so when you pick it up or if you're writing on it, it's not moving around to your partner's table, or it's not dropping on the floor.
Okay. All right, so let's look around the classroom. Now that we know what solids are, we have an example, like our desks and our chairs are all solids. Let's look around the classroom and see how many solids that we can find. So anyone have any examples of solids in the classroom that they see? Yes.
I have one. The computer.
The computer, good
Good
job.
observation. And go ahead and write those down in your little foldables too.
Let's try and get at least 3 in our foldable, 3 examples in the classroom, and write those down. All right, so now we have liquids, and liquids is also a form of matter. So liquids, they move smoothly, and they take the shape of their container. So if I pour liquid into a container, like we poured the water into the bowl, it took the shape of the bowl. It flows, and it has no shape of its own. So when it goes into a container, it just takes the shape of the container because it has no shape of its own.
So for example, we have a glove and we filled it with water. So as you can see, the water is taking the form and the shape of the glove. So just like if you pour water into your drink at home, it'll take the shape of the glass.
We can go ahead and pass this one around and you guys can feel it in your groups. You can feel the way the liquid feels.
Okay, so go ahead and name some liquids you drink. And does anybody have any examples that they would like to share?
Water.
Water,
Yes, good.
Water is important for us to drink every day. Do we have any other examples?
I drink coffee.
Coffee.
We love coffee.
Yeah.
Good, and then go ahead and write down some of your own observations or own things that you drink in your journals under the liquid section.
All right, and our last form that we're going to talk about is gases. So air is an example of gas. That's one of our most important gases that we have. It has no shape of its own. So normally we can't see it, but we can feel it. So just like a gas holds up a kite, we can't really see the wind or the air holding up the kite, but we know it's there because the kite is still in the air. Like we said, air is our most important gas, so it is what we breathe. So if it was gone, we would be in big trouble. And see some other types of gases. It says the fumes from a volcano. So when a volcano erupts, all of the fumes and clouds and smoke come out, and that's an example of gases.
And then we have balloons as well. So when you have balloons at your birthday party, what's inside the balloon is gas.
So I have this glove right here, and the glove is empty right now. Let me see if I can blow it up with some air. So the air that's in this balloon now, the air that I breathed in here, this is an example of a gas. If I let it go, all the gas would come out because the gas has no shape of its own. But in this case, I can feel it because it's inside a container. So I'll go ahead and close this, and I can pass this one around too. And now you can feel the difference between a solid, liquid, and a gas.
As she's passing that one around, go ahead and write down under your gas section how it feels and any observations that you have. Okay, children, so we do have a cute little video that we're going to show you, but first we're going to do a quick check. So we're going to ask you each state that we just went over, and y'all can give us an example or go ahead and just answer the questions that we asked. You can also write these in your little foldables. There you go.
All right, so which form of matter can hold its shape? It keeps its shape.
A solid.
Yes, and can you give me an example of a solid?
Like our desk.
Yeah, exactly. Good job.
Okay, then which state of matter takes the form of the object that it's in?
Ooh, liquid and gas.
Oh,
good.
Exactly. So sometimes if a gas is trapped, it can take the form of its container. Good job.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this song, and then we will do an activity right afterwards.
The stuff of life is matter. Now here's the scientific chatter. I'm gonna give it to you nice and straight. When it comes to matter, there are three states: solid or liquid or gas. Solids stay put in a single place. When put in something else, they keep their own shape. Your chair is a solid, and so is a box. Your shirt is a solid, and so are your socks. A table is a solid, and so is your phone. A cookie's a solid, and so is a stone. Can you think of any more solids?
All right, be writing down your solids in your foldable.
The stuff of life is matter. Now here's the scientific chatter. I'm gonna give it to you nice and straight. When it comes to matter, there are three states: solid or liquid or gas. Liquids flow when they move around. They take the shape of their container now. Wine is a liquid, and so is apple juice. Milk is a liquid, it's good for you. Soda is a liquid, and so is gasoline. Salad dressing is a liquid, you see. Can you think of any more liquids?
What are some liquids? Yell them out real fast.
Juice.
Yes.
Water. Good. And also write them down in your foldable.
The stuff of life is matter. Now here's the scientific chatter. I'm gonna give it to you nice and straight. When it comes to matter, there are three states: solid or liquid or gas. A gas expands to fill any space. Now a peculiar look may come to your face because sometimes gases are invisible. Let me explain. You can't really see it, but you know it's there. All around you
Helium.
Good job.
Good. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the goop that we passed around. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on the projector. And then is there anything that y'all noticed or any observations you would like to share with us?
What did you guys write in your observation journal? What were some of our descriptive words we used to describe the goop?
I feel like it was a solid when I tried to poke it, but then I picked it up and it was runny.
Good observation. Alright.
Yeah, so now that we know a little bit more about solids, liquids, and gases, we can determine if we thought it was a solid, liquid, or gas. And like someone already said, when they touched it and they picked it up, it felt like it was solid because it held its shape, but then once I let it go, it started flowing down. So this, or goop, is an example of a unique substance where two things were mixed together and it became a solid and a liquid at the same time. When you're holding it and you're putting pressure on it, it can hold its shape and it can be solid. When you start letting it go, it starts flowing and it becomes a liquid. So that's a pretty interesting little experiment we did.
And we'll also touch more on this as we keep getting into the different states of how objects or products can be more than one state.
Okay, so we have one last activity for you guys. I'm going to hand out 4 picture cards to each group. Each group has different cards with the words on it, and you guys are going to decide in your groups together which category they go in.
Okay guys, so for an example, I have desk. So I'm going to look at it and say, okay, which category does it fall under? So desk is going to fall under what?
Solid.
Solid. So I'm going to place it under solid. So in each of your groups, y'all are going to figure out which category each item goes under.